who come up with it. So in terms, basically, the MOGUL Foundation is the Men of God Undertaking Leadership Foundation, and it's a non-profit that has the mission to develop at-risk male youth, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and we want to raise them to be positive leaders within their community. Essentially, we want to focus, everything that we focus on deals with like financial literacy, mental and spiritual stability, health and wellness, dress etiquette, speech etiquette, the list goes on and on. So those are some of the things that we're going to be focusing on, and we want to provide these guys with the the resources and the programs, and provide them with workshops and give them the skills, training, and everything that they will need to be successful in life and to be the leader of their own life. We govern ourselves with like the 7 mogul characteristics, which is love, integrity, humility, courtesy, wisdom, confidence, and discipline. No, we're not religious. As far as religion goes, we kind of separate ourselves as a people, and we tend to bicker and batter and bicker and banter and fight each other over whose religion is right, whose religion is wrong. And it's just like why are we fighting each other? People call him Allah. Some people call him, the man above, the higher entities. They say it's just the energy and the universe and the spiritual frequency, and whatever people want to call it. It's just a divine entity that guides you to do the right thing. That's how we're going to define God. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Detroit, in an at-risk community, and I wasn't swallowed up by the culture and the community and how unfortunately it happens to a lot of young at-risk guys. That's why you're deemed at risk, because you're growing up in that situation or in that environment or that community. And I just want to kind of provide this central hub for them to, for guys who become a part of MOGUL. I want to provide this culture to like, hey, you don't got to turn to the streets and to this gang life to get that family feel if you're not getting that love in your actual household. I wanted to let these young guys know, like, hey man, you got somebody that cares for you, you got somebody who loves you for who you are and who kind of understands you, because I've been in those same situations. I could have easily made a wrong turn somewhere and I could have ended up dead or in jail. I want to provide this platform for the young guys to give them that brotherhood environment, and MOGUL is going to be structured, kind of like a fraternity as well. We're a non-profit, but it's also going to be structured like a fraternity. And I wanted to give them that that love, that fellowship, that brotherhood, that tradition. I wanted to incorporate that because that's a part of who I am, and that's what made me who I am today. I kind of just took a look at myself, and I asked myself the question, what is your purpose? And this was in 2015. I knew I was getting ready to graduate. I was graduating in 2016, so I'm like, well, you gotta find something to do. I was driving down 96, and I was taking a trip, the normal trip everybody always take from Michigan State to Detroit, Lansing to Detroit. And I was just driving. I cut the music off and everything, and I just like to meditate. I put myself in a state of meditation, or in a state of just really vibrating on a high frequency. And when I was doing that, God just revealed to me, like, this is who you are. These are the things that you do well, and these are things that you don't do well, and these are the things that have defined you growing up. So, one, being a man of God, I grew up in the church, and then two, being a leader. Age doesn't qualify you to be a leader or anything like that, but it's just who you are as a person. It has nothing to do with age. And I believe who I am as a person, as well as the situations that I was put in my family, and not only in my family, I've been put in positions of leadership. You know, at work, I was born into leadership. You know, leadership is one of those things where people kind of, you know, claim it for clout or for fame or just to say that they're in power, whatever the case may be. But I don't say that, you know, I'm a man of leadership just because of any of those things. Like, it's really it's a humbling, and sometimes it's a tough role to have. And, you know, to be a leader, you don't always have to lead people. Sometimes you could lead your own life into, you know, the life that you want to live. And that's essentially what we kind of getting at with Mogul. We're not necessarily raising a bunch of guys to have a whole bunch of other people follow them. I mean, obviously, you know, if they're living their life, you know, they're living a good life and they're trying to do the right thing. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's all good. But if they're, you know, doing all the right things and they're growing up, and, you know, I call them a mogul man or a man of mogul, you know, of course we'll want people to follow them, but that's not really our focus. We want you to be the leader of your own life, and by doing that, you know, follow after God's own heart, or follow after God. So that's where the men of God undertaking leadership kind of comes into play. I mean, that's essentially what Mogul is and how it came about. And, you know, I would hope that people would see that, you know, Mogul is being led by a genuine guy, a genuine person, a genuine man of God.
I think I was young, cause I was young, you know. Was young, but I was peeping perspective and pushing pressure past.